Alright, I'm a little energized. I'm enjoying standing up right now. I don't want to sit down. I want to stand up and talk to you about Red State. Red State stars Michael Parks, John Goodman, Melissa Leo, and is written and directed by Kevin Smith. It also stars some kids that are very scared about the situation they're in, but whatever. Michael Parks is the star of this movie, to be honest. He owns this movie. And it's written and directed by Kevin Smith. Red State's the story of three teenagers who travel off to hopefully get laid and then end up being kidnapped, brought to this church where they're going to be sacrificed by these crazy church motherfuckers. And so it becomes this weird horror movie, but then the ATF gets involved, so it turns into an action horror movie. This movie is intense, badass, awesome. It scared me. It gave me a bunch of adrenaline with the action. And it's written and directed by Kevin Smith. What? Like, I remember back when I first saw this, I saw Zack and Mary, and then I went back and I saw a couple other movies. Like I saw Clerks, Mallrats, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and Clerks 2. So I was like, I know who Kevin Smith is. He's a pretty funny guy. And then I saw Red State. I was like, what the hell? Just what? Because he takes his style. And I know I said it with Jersey Girl. He takes his style and reinvents himself. No, this is reinventing. All his other movies have been cutesy comedies or like just really funny, dirty comedies. This is intense horror action. This is not what I ever thought Kevin Smith would ever do. Because after Cop Out, Kevin Smith, there's a great story. He quotes Dark Knight Returns as like, this could have been a good death, but not good enough. He could have just went out, ended his career by, okay, I'll just be the director for hire, make shitty movies like Cop Out that I didn't write, but I'll direct them. But instead, no, it woke up the artist inside him. He's back to writing, directing, and he's doing shit only Kevin Smith could do, and this is one of them. This intense, first half horror, second half is action, and then it ends with a little bit of satire. This is up there with Kevin Smith's best, and probably, I know I like to say Clerks and Clerks 2 a lot, but this might be his best just by the fact of, you know who Kevin Smith is, and he totally reestablishes what he can do and who he is as a director with this movie, so it should make it his best, right? It's totally different. The direction, the camera's moving a lot, you're getting more artistic direction from Kevin Smith, better cinematography, because it's not just people sitting there talking about Star Wars. No, you got weird, crazy shit going on. But there is a part where the camera just can sit still and suck up and enjoy a couple of performances. The first being Michael Parks. This guy owns this movie, okay? He comes into this movie and chews the scenery, owns it. The fact that this guy didn't get a nomination for Best Actor or Supporting Actor is ridiculous and preposterous. I don't care if it is sort of a genre horror action movie. This deserved it. In the year 2011, this should have got some sort of nomination. There was something you could have kicked. And the Oscars just like, no, we like dramas about real people or something. Not generally everything that gets nominated. This should have got nominated, and he could have won. He was fantastic. Michael Parks is so good at this evil preacher that is so warped and demented in his viewpoint on like gay people and fornicators and all people. He hates everyone, they all do. But yet, he sucks you in with his performance that you might think everything he's saying is bullshit, but you can't look away because he's just so good. His performance does suck you in. It's so great. You also got John Goodman, fantastic as ever. This is one of his best performances besides maybe The Big Lebowski. Over the line, Donnie. I don't know, was that sort of Clint Eastwood sounding? To me it was. And also Melissa Leo, she is fantastic in this too. And the kid actors, you know, the teenagers are pretty good. Everyone else is really good. You got a couple cameos from people you know from Kevin Smith movies. That's sort of where Kevin Smith peeks in like, I directed it in case you couldn't tell because it's totally not what I do. You know, you got Ralph Garman from Hollywood Babylon saying nothing the whole movie. That would be fixed later, but yeah, Ralph Garman just the mute. And you got some other actors or people you'll recognize from Kevin Smith's stuff. And yeah, that's the fun of this movie. Kevin Smith makes a really good movie because it is. The first half is intense, horrifying. Not like I'm jumping up like, ah! Like I'm not like scared. It's not like jump scares or anything. But it sets an atmosphere and a freaky, creepy tone of just that's pretty messed up. And then the movie takes a quick turn like, pump the brakes, we're gonna go in a different direction, and it goes into this badass action action movie, and the direction, that's actually pretty good too. You got like people running around this giant compound, and the camera's like right up on them. It's just like tracking shots that are really fast paced and stuff. Some people might say, that's a little whatever. It's not really shaky cam. They mounted a tripod to the front of them basically, so it was just like the camera was this close on them as they're running all over the place. In cool tracking shots. I thought it was stylistic and neat, and definitely not Kevin Smith. And so then when it gets to the action, it gets even more fucked up in some of the stuff that starts happening. And then the end, my god, the end. And there's some great satire throughout this movie. It's pretty funny, even though it is kind of messed up and awesome all at the same time. But that ending is like one of my favorite endings to a movie ever. And what's funny is like the Kevin Smith's idea of what the ending was originally going to be when he wrote the script is even more crazy. I'm going to do real quick spoilers about the ending and what the ending almost was. So if you haven't seen this, I guess until this disappears, stay away. It ends and you hear that horn and they think it's the rapture, and they're all freaking out like, oh, stop shooting, we're whatever, Jesus is gonna take us to heaven. And then nothing happened. It cuts to John Goodman in the boardroom like, well, I headbutted him and then arrested them. And it was some kids just pulling a prank on them. That's awesome. It's funny. There's some satire in there for sure about what they do with terrorists and this and that. But the original ending that Kevin Smith was going to make it, the actual rapture happens and everyone starts getting destroyed. And you see the angels of death showing up and stuff. It's like, whoa, that would have been even more fucked up. I like the ending we got, but that other ending, I wish that was like something you could watch on the Blu-ray, like the alternate ending, because that would have been badass. So yeah, this is Kevin Smith's most accomplished film. He really did a lot with this movie, and I know it's not like I'm just saying, oh, it's badass because Kevin Smith made it, and you don't expect it. I think had anyone made this, I would still be just as impressed. It's a really good movie. I like it a lot. Great performances, direction, cinematography, action. I love where this movie goes. I really, really enjoy Red State. It's one of Kevin Smith's best for sure. I would give it an A. It's badass. It's right up there with his best. I love it a lot. Comment below, tell me what you thought of Red State if you've seen it. Where does it fit in Kevin Smith's movies to you? Is it his best? Do you think it's overrated, underrated? What's your opinion on Red State? And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later when I talk about Tusk. Oh wait, no, there's a cartoon movie.